Hey everyone, this is Flammy. Welcome back. This is Season 5, Episode 16, and Part 3 of my base build. So, in the first part, we destroyed my last base. In the second part, we sort of set up this core center. I just actually did a teeny bit of modifications. I ended up moving the clan castle north a little bit. As you can see, the radius is now just like this. Before, when it was on the south side, it was too far out, and I feel that people could draw out the troops too easily, so I moved it up there. I did also, off video, rearrange these walls so that they are in this square pattern. This isn't going to necessarily stay, and it's not like I'm going to actually just fill in stuff straight. I'm going to certainly have some sort of walls that are separating. I'm just not quite sure how it's going to work quite yet. So let's go start laying out some defenses and sort of put down the main part of the base. All the defenses and the storages will follow. So I've got currently 2 storages of each, 2 elixirs and 2 golds. So I think I'll go put those out now. I'm thinking maybe the corners would be good. Maybe. This is fine to put in the corners because it means that if someone attacks, unless they get really close to 2 to 3 starring me, they generally aren't going to do a ton of damage to the storages. I mean, that might seem sort of weird, but it makes sense if you think about it. Basically, they just have a hard time taking out the entire base, and they have to choose what side they attack from. Actually, in my last video, which I just ended up recording, you saw that I had this problem, like, I can't attack the entire base at once. So how should I handle it? Well, I choose to attack part of the base and sort of neglect the rest of it. So I ended up losing out on one of the elixir storages, which I was aiming for initially, but I ended up getting all the mines and collectors in the other elixir storage. So it's a bit of trade-off, absolutely a bit of trade-off. So the interesting part is I get to decide how to do walls. So I'm thinking maybe double compartments. Would that make sense? I think it really would, although that wouldn't be here. That'd have to be in the corner. Double compartments are where I put 2 buildings in each compartment and then wall them off in between. So this gap right here would have walls in it. So let's go grab some defenses and drag them in and sort of see how their layout's looking. Look at their radiuses, how they're overlapping, etc., etc., etc. Let's do cannon. No, let's do wizard towers next. I've got my mortars in. Wizard towers are next most important. I have one that's currently upgrading. I did start it after all, just recently. But I want to keep that in mind for sure. This here. How about this here? So that's a good one because that protects the gold mine and the town hall and the dark elixir storage. One of my these 2 guys are not going to be quite as protected. It's alright, though. I'm fine with that, considering that it's sort of a trade-off. In exchange... Ooh, I should swap this. Oh, that's clever. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put the lower level one over here where it's less protected. Put the higher level one over here, and then I'll put the last wizard tower over here to protect this higher level one. Why did I do that? Well, I was thinking I'd put my lower level one near the town hall, thinking you'd probably die more often, so not as much would be stolen. But in this case, I put my higher level one over there, and then it will distract people who are coming in. Now, I'm going to put my wizard tower here. It's under construction, so I'll probably end up swapping with another defense, and that means I'll probably swap these back again. But I'm setting these up as if this was my permanent design, and if these buildings were all active. But they, of course, aren't. Next, archer towers, cannons, air defenses. Let's do air defenses. Air defenses, I'm not too worried about centralizing a ton. Just sort of keeping them around is good. Putting them not next to wizard towers, but within the range of wizard towers is good. Because if someone comes in with mass balloon, that's something they're going to be worried about, taking out both wizards and air defenses. But I don't think that's going to be much of a concern. Yeah, it's just unlikely. People don't use mass balloons much, which is why I don't need to put air defenses in the center. The thing that I could potentially have to worry about is dragons. Dragons are very popular, indeed. But the thing about them is, they don't actually get used that much down at 1,300-ish trophies. So that's where I'm at currently, so I don't need to worry about that too much. If I was up at 1,700, 2,000, above 2,000, yeah, dragons up there, those get pretty popular. But here, no, not as much. Don't need to worry about them quite as much as I would above. Okay, that's looking... Alright, let's put this here. Okay, I'm going to move both this and the elixir storage over one. I'm thinking this double compartment is going to work out well. You might be sort of curious how this is going to be a hybrid base. It sort of seems like the town hall's outside the walls. Well, in fact, what I'm going to do is put the remaining... I can't put all the defenses in here. I can barely fit a few more in as is. I'm going to put the remainder of them sort of over by the town hall. And then I'm going to see if I can do some tricky stuff with how the Teslas and cannons and walls will manage with the... ooh, tricky. Yeah, that's good. Let's move these down, though. What was I saying? Yeah, so then I'm going to do some tricky stuff with how giants will interact with these walls, and if they do attack, which they will attack. Giants are very popular after all. I want to play around with them and sort of screw with them and make them hopefully go off target and stuff like that. Alright, so that's tightened up. Let's tighten up this corner as well. So like I said, that square thing was not intended to stick around forever. I'm going to put the rest of the defenses out next. Just laying them out is going to be the next most important thing, and probably the most tricky thing about this base. This base isn't super tricky so far. I will have walls in between those compartments, but that's very easy to read, and sort of very easy to predict how your units are going to react. But here is going to be less easy to predict. So, defenses. I want to put them in places where the wizard towers and mortars might be able to be very effective. So this can be right tight against these walls. Yeah, there's that. And do an archer tower next. I sort of have to drag them a long way, but we'll get them there in the end. Let's connect this one with the town hall. I think I'll enclose it with walls. Stupid guys. Let's actually drag them over, because we're going to use them in this direction anyways. So let's bring over the extra cannons and archer towers. The goal is going to be to use spring traps effectively. I love talking about spring traps, because spring traps, I think, are generally underused. And even I underuse them. I create spots for them, but honestly, like, I don't log on often sometimes to make them effective. So maybe they're not really as useful as they should be. Or I just forget to replace them, or get too lazy to replace them. But spring traps are really generally an overlooked thing, both for me and for other people. They're just so effective at what they do, and that's killing either grouped up units or killing giants. Both those are just so important. If you can knock out 3 giants with a spring trap, or even 2, which is more likely and fairly common, it just really loses a lot of power. That's a lot of health that they suddenly lose out on. How much are giants' health when they're level 5? I forget exactly. Oh, these are level 4 giants. But level 4 giants are already over 500 health. If you're able to take out more than 500 or more than 1,000 health for 2 giants, that just helps your defenses kill everything else that remains a lot faster. Alright, so I'm not going to have all of my defenses down here. I'm going to have a good number of them, though. So let's see how this layout's going to work. I'm thinking maybe... How about just that and then the Teslas? If they don't expect the Teslas, that could be good. The thing is, I don't want giants to get in and distract my mortars, which is tricky always. What is the damage per second on a Tesla? 48 versus a cannon. I think it's going to be about equal. 48. Yeah, it is equal. In that case, I would rather... It doesn't really matter which is attacking the giants, because neither does Splash. I guess I'd rather protect the Tesla slightly more, because they do damage against P.E.K.K.A.s. Bonus damage, that is, because they do double bonus damage. I'll pull that up here, as you can see. But the thing about them is, it's really obvious where they are. If you sort of put them more towards the center, you'll just have massive 2x2 holes in your base. And it's like, oh, Tesla right there and right there. Really easy to predict. So I'm thinking I'm going to take these Teslas. Come on, drag. Don't drag the screen. Thank you. And leave them outside a little bit more than I might normally. And I might even put them in such a way that they attract the aforementioned giants into spring traps, which could be fun. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. Let's leave them here for now. I think it's going to involve walls and spring traps, and we'll just see how that works. Let's talk about the rest of the stuff, though. I think I'm going to spread it around somewhat at the outside. That will help keep people off of my storages, as well as just provide some extra damage per second around all sides of the base. As is currently, we're sort of spreading ourselves a little thin on these sides, so I'm going to need to have more guys. Let's get these torches out of the way. I will deal with natural decorations probably off video. They do matter, but in a very, like, 1% situation. They can help, but it's just so minor. Don't worry about them. So I will talk about them probably in the video where I come in and review how everything's been going. Let's take cannon-wise. Is this cannon actually higher? Oh, I do have a level 9 cannon. I forgot that I had level 9 cannons. Let's put them... Yeah, let's put them near in this spot. This is going to be more protected, so I'd rather have the higher level ones here. And I'm going to replace the other archer tower with this as well, if I could actually bother to drag it. Thank you. And then I think it's going to be relatively close to wrapping up this video. I need to do the layouts of the last couple ones, but that's looking pretty good if you ask me. The last couple ones will go up here. I think I'll probably position them off video, and I'll explain them when we come back. But you know what, guys? Thank you guys very much for watching. This has been part 3 of my base build. So, in the next part, we will finish up all the defenses, and then I'll probably, maybe I'll do some walls off video after that, and then before that, I will probably do some elixir collectors, gold mines, that sort of laying out stuff, which is actually more important than you might think. Alright guys, thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Have a great day, and clash on.